there, it's your girlfriend Nikki Nokes, and I am back with my third vlog, and I want to start this one out with a quote. I thought her unsinkable based on opinion of the best expert advice available. And that could be talking about any one of the single girlfriends, right? It's not. It's from Philip A.S. Franklin, quoted in the New York Times on April 16, 1912. He was talking about the Titanic the day after it sunk. You're going to think I made all this up just to prove a point, and I didn't. It's all facts. My source is Wikipedia. You can go look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. And the funny thing is that ships are referred to as she, as if they're human. They're christened. She's set off to sea. So I'm going to use that same convention when I discuss the Titanic here. I'm going to call her she. She was designed by some of the most experienced engineers ever and intended to be the largest, most luxurious ocean liner ever created, at least amongst that time, ever made. And the libraries were there, barbershops, beauty shops, chandeliers, Turkish baths. It was just excessive opulence. I mean, just amazing. You name it, wood paneling, it was there. Beautiful ballroom. Except lifeboats. There weren't enough lifeboats. But it was a spa. Anyway, she met all of the requirements of the time. She was up to code. She was up to standards. She did everything she was supposed to do on paper. So she set sail. And there's one thing to realize: the most dangerous thing to worry about when you're at sea, and at that time, were icebergs. And relative to the size of the ship, above water, icebergs don't look as dangerous. The only problem is that roughly 87.5% of the iceberg is underwater. So it's really dangerous. And how was the Titanic, how was she supposed to avoid these icebergs? Well, people that had taken the path before her, had taken that route, would radio in and tell her, warn her of the impending danger. So they would radio in and tell her, okay, there's an iceberg here, avoid this route of iceberg there. And this did happen with the Titanic, except she wasn't really listening because, she had more important conversations to be had over the radio. Go figure. And in fact, actually one nearby ship actually reached the captain with a very urgent, imperative message. There's an iceberg on your path. And the captain said, and I quote, shut up, I am busy. And in fact, he was listening to, I think he was in communication with another radio transmitter on land in Newfoundland. They couldn't see the icebergs, but that's who he chose to talk to. So the Titanic hit an iceberg, split in half, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean on April 15th, 1912. Most of the passengers died. So girlfriend, what did we learn from our girlfriend, the Titanic? Let's go with 3 things that I identified as the key factors in this epic disaster and the primary reasons why she is currently sitting at the bottom of the sea in all of her unappreciated glory. Number 1, failure to listen. Let's think of the captain's behavior. I'm too busy. I've got it all figured out. Who are you anyway? How dare you point something out to me such as, I don't know, something dangerous that's in my path? I'm unsinkable. I'm the Titanic. Don't you know who I am? Girlfriend. How does this relate to us? Just think about it. Scenarios where people say, hey, he cheated on his last girlfriend, he'll cheat on you too. Or, hey, you need to make some time for dating. You're spending too much time and focus on your career. Or, hey, you know what? Your objective criteria for evaluating men are keeping you single. Or, hey, you know what? You need to work on your self-esteem because you're settling for way less than you're worth. Shut up. I'm busy. Reason number 2, mistaken idea of the sturdiness and seaworthiness of the ship. So because she was designed to code, she was fabulous and absolutely perfect on paper, she thought that she had it made. She was the biggest and baddest ship, most luxurious ship ever created. She was the top of the line. And in the words of our girlfriend Cherie from Real Housewives of Atlanta, who gonna check me, boo? Checklist covered, life basics not. Did I mention that the Titanic is at the bottom of the ocean? Oh, okay, just making sure. Number 3, inability to change. So this point above all others was the Titanic's Achilles heel. See, the bigger and badder the ship, the larger the rudder needs to be, and the rudder controls the ship's ability to change, and especially the speed at which the ship is able to change. So larger ships, the more fabulous and grandiose they are, the more it takes them to change directions. So if that mechanism is not properly developed or built incorrectly, then you won't be able to change direction no matter what you do, and especially not in time to avoid a major dangerous obstacle in your path. So the Titanic had a very tiny rudder, a tiny ability to change direction, and now we all know how this story ends. So unfortunately, if you don't have the ability to change, or you only change when it's mission critical and it's too late, then you find yourself in a similar situation facing disaster. So this whole topic, if this is you, if it even rings the slightest bell, is in my book. Maybe it's you. Stop wondering why you're single, girlfriend, and read this book. In fact, it's so important that this section, which I address in Maybe You Don't Listen, is in the free downloadable excerpt at www.nikkynokes.com. It's free, and it's the very first thing that I cover, and I suggest that maybe you take a look at it and read through, because not being able to listen is likely keeping you single. So if you get yourself right, you handle the reinforcements, the internal reinforcements that need to be made, next time you approach an iceberg, even if you hit it, it's just a little bump, and you brush it off and keep it moving in a different direction. So that's all I have for now, girlfriends. I am your girlfriend, Nikki Nokes, and with one question for you. If you're single, ladies, have you ever considered that maybe it's you? Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!